Good evening. I'd like to call the April 24th, 2019 meeting of the Long Branch City Council will now come to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler?
Here.
Mr. Bear will be absent this evening. Dr. Vogt?
Here.
Dr. Selly?
Here.
Mrs. Wittes?
Here. Will everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspapers in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and posted as required by law.
Thank you.
No. I'm all right. Yeah.
Bill, do you want to give
You go, Bill. Go.
David Price one more? Come up with it. Yeah, after I read. I'd like to call up David Perez, who has been chosen as the May 2019 Employee of the Month. Please come forward. I'd like to read to you the director of the library, Tony Garcia's submission. To work at the library is to be part of a team of excellence because excellence is an expectation for all employees on our staff. David Perez is absolutely no exception. In fact, Mr. Perez consistently proves to be a remarkable employee. Just 2 weeks ago, I received a phone call from the city employee informing me of a conversation that took place at City Hall with a couple who expressed their appreciation for David, the local social worker in the library. 2 days later, I received another call from a city department director who informed me of David's stellar involvement during a meeting he attended on my behalf. She characterized David as enthusiastic, professional, and dedicated. I believe those words describe him perfectly. Time and time again, community members stop in my office to tell me how David changed their life. Whether it's finding employment or housing, he goes above and beyond to find the help needed while ensuring visitors feel valued and respected. In 2015, Mr. Perez became a Monmouth graduate student in social work, focusing on international community development. As part of his work towards a degree, he took an internship here at the Long Branch Public Library. He was instrumental in helping to coordinate the Fade to Books Barbershop Literacy Initiative. Soon after graduating, David was hired to work here, thus becoming the first social worker in the state to be directly hired by a public library. He now holds a civil service position as a bilingual social worker. In a short time, he has excelled in this position. David supervises Monmouth University's School of Social Work students, interns at the library. He's a member of the Public Library Association, PLA National Social Worker Task Force. He is also the Vice President of the New Jersey Library Association Diversity and Outreach Section, and was recently invited to write a chapter in the 5th edition of Days in the Lives of Social Workers on social work in library. David is not only an asset to the community, but a true asset to our team. He consistently demonstrates a team-first attitude, going above and beyond to work to help others do their best work through collaboration and teamwork. He truly reinforces our core values. I'm so proud to nominate this selfless candidate for this award because he deserves it. And on behalf of the City Council, we'd like to congratulate and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
I'm not gonna. I promise to not make a speech, which I love making speeches. But I just want to say that together we're stronger. Thank you so much for this honor.
I need a motion to approve the minutes of April 10th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. This is the second reading of ordinance 5-19 entitled an ordinance creating chapter 110 intentional release of balloons to the code of the city of Long Branch. This ordinance was introduced on April 10th, 2019. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
If there is anyone in the audience that has a comment to make regarding this ordinance, please step to the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Yeah, hi, Ernest McNolly, Deal Lake Drive, Asbury Park, New Jersey, born in Long Branch. I guess I'm always concerned about where the mayor sits, so tonight I guess I can't be concerned, right? The mayor's not here. What I wanted to...
He's on the phone, Mr. McNolly. Just
Oh, he'll be here?
yeah, no, he's on the phone.
Oh, hi, Mayor.
You know, Kathy, I can't hear Mr. McNolly very well. I don't know if you want to call me back or not.
It may be my voice, Mayor, but tomorrow they may fix it in surgery, so you won't have to hear me sound like this, hopefully too much longer. But anyway, I wanted to get back to something that's very dear to me. I think some of the people who were elected here know that my family, myself, we were born here, and I still have some family here, and we were all educated, baptized, communion, and Star of the Sea. And it's an important church to me. I still go there today. And I guess you know from during the campaign how concerned I was about activities that go on in terms of a club called the Holy Smoke Cigar.
Sorry, Mr. McNolly, this is about the ordinance that we're...
About the balloon release ordinance.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not the open public?
Not yet.
No, this is about the ordinance on the...
Well, thank you for stopping me. I don't have anything to say about balloons right now. So I'll come back. I'll come back.
Yeah.
Back up.
Fine.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I need a motion to close.
So move.
Second.
This is the third reading of ordinance 5-19 entitled an ordinance creating chapter 110 intentional release of balloons to the code of the city of Long Branch. I need a motion to adopt on third and final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. This is the second reading of ordinance 6-19 entitled an ordinance year 2019 model ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. This ordinance was introduced on April 10th, 2019. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone in the audience that has a comment to make regarding this ordinance? Please step to the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch, 1 minute notification if needed. I'll read 2 paragraphs in this ordinance. Quote, whereas the Council of the City of Long Branch and the County of Monmouth finds it advisable and necessary to increase its CY 2019 budget by up to 3.5% over the previous year's final appropriations in the interest of promoting health, safety, and welfare of the citizens. And whereas the City Council of the City of Long Branch hereby determines that a 3.5% increase in the budget for said year amounting to $1,619,084.01 in excess of the increase in final appropriations otherwise permitted by the local government cap law is advisable and necessary. Mr. Martin, could you please explain to us why it is advisable to increase the CY 2019 budget by 3.5%?
The purpose of this entire ordinance is not only to potentially exceed the cap, which we are not doing, is to set up a cap bank, which is the only purpose that Long Branch is going to utilize this ordinance for. This is a ordinance template given to us by the state to approve, and we just plug in the numbers. It's their recommended ordinance and wording.
Mr. Martin, could you please explain what were the factors leading to this ordinance for that 3.5% increase? The factors in the budget? Mr. Raynon, are you saying he doesn't have to answer?
No, sir. What I'm
I'm
saying is
asking
that-
Mr. Martin the question. I request the answer from Mr. Martin.
That's good, because I'm going to give you the answer. If you read
Well,
the ordinance...
I'm asking the financial officer responsible for the budget.
Okay.
Mr. Martin, could you please explain the factors that led to the determination, the factors in the budget for the 3.5% cap?
The factors in the budget, meaning what's in cap and what's
Overall, was it the overall budget excluded, debt service, whatever was excluded from the cap that brought this about?
We're not exceeding the cap by 3.5%.
I didn't say that. What were the factors that led you to go and put an ordinance in for the cap?
To create a cap bank.
Increase in the budget for said year to $1,619,084.01. What's behind that figure, Mr. Martin?
Do you want the answer, or do you want Mr. Martin to give you the answer? Because I can give you the answer. Because the ordinance doesn't increase the budget by that amount. Because if you
Mr.
read
Raynon is disrupting the meeting. This is a budget by the chief financial officer. I am asking a direct question to which I want a direct answer.
Would you like a response?
Would you like an answer, or you just don't want an answer? It's up to you, whatever you want. If you don't actually want an answer, then I won't give you an answer. If you actually would want an answer, I'll give it to you.
You know, Ms. Wittes, you talk about discipline in a meeting, and you allow Mr. Raynon to talk 20 minutes on the night of the 30-year tax abatement outside a 5-minute rule, and you are now allowing him to disrupt the meeting.
No, actually, he's trying to give an answer to a question that you're asking.
I think the chief financial officer responsible for the budget knows more than the city attorney.
Mr. Renaud would like to answer.
I don't want his answer. I want it from the expert, the chief financial officer.
Then,
Mr. Martin, are you prepared to answer this question?
Sure.
Could you please answer the question?
The 1.6 million is based on 3.5% of prior year in-cap expenditures
Prior in-cap expenditures.
from the 2018 budget.
Thank you.
And Council President, and I just for the record, what the ordinance says is that if you read instead of the whereases, I guess Mr. Laporte doesn't really want the answer to the question. He just wants to answer it and then run out of the room. It says, be it ordained that any of that amount authorized herein above that is not appropriated as part of the final budget shall be retained as an exception to the final appropriations in either of the next 2 succeeding years. So what Mr. Martin started to say, but Mr. Laporte cut him off, is that the purpose of this is to establish a number as to what the cap is, but whatever of that is not appropriated in the final budget becomes part of a cap bank. So it's the budget that, Mike, do I have it right so far?
You're explaining correctly, yes.
Yeah, okay, so that's the answer. The answer to your question is, how did we come up with that number? That's just a mathematical calculation. We're allowed to say 3.5%, and whatever we don't go, when we don't go up to 3.5%, whatever we haven't gone up to in that number is now in a cap bank for the next 2 years. Because if, for instance, there should be a Hurricane Sandy and you need to expend money next year that's above that 3.5%, you would then have that money in a cap bank for 2 years.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, I need a motion to close.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is the third reading of ordinance 6-19, entitled an ordinance year 2019 model ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. I need a motion to adopt on third and final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. We can take the listed resolution.
Excuse me.
public participation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
participation,
I
I'm
missed
sorry.
that. Yeah.
Need a motion to open the public portion of
Yeah,
the
I need a motion to open the public portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
If there's anyone in the audience that has a comment to make regarding this ordinance, please step to the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Good evening, Mayor Pallone and council members. Can you hear me, Mayor Pallone?
I do, Anita. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Anita Clavering. I live on 161 Garrett Drive. I am here tonight on behalf of Moms Demand Action, asking if you can issue a proclamation designating June 7th as National Gun Violence Awareness Day in Long Branch. Our primary goal is to reduce the 100+ gun deaths a day through sensible legislation and by promoting gun safety. I have submitted a letter to you, Mayor Brown, with complete information as well as a sample proclamation, a Mayors Against Illegal Guns statement of principles, and a list of 31 towns and cities in Monmouth County who issued proclamations last year, including Long Branch. This year, the Monmouth County chapter of Moms Demand Action has issued a goal of all 53 municipalities in Monmouth County to issue proclamations. Complete and full information is in the packet I submitted. I'll be more than happy to work with all of you, along with the Monmouth County chapter of Moms Demand Action, in issuing a proclamation for National Gun Violence Awareness Day. Please feel free to see me after the meeting so we can all get started. Thanks so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. So, Anita, I apologize. The microphone is not working that well, so I don't hear everything that you're saying. But I certainly would like to get together with you and maybe some members in council to discuss this further as you're suggesting. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
This is public.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where do we start in time? 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Fantastic. Ernest McNolly, I just want to say, if I might, I know that the meeting gets a little, I don't know what the word is, contentious sometimes, but I have to say, sometimes I side with the public. And what I mean is, when we come here, we have a right to ask someone that we want to ask a question, and not someone to kind of superimpose over that. Because then it makes the public feel like, well, who are we to be contradicting what you want to do? So basically, I think what I see is, it just seems like a trend here. The city attorney is just doing too much talking, and I wonder what that's caused by. I don't know. For whatever reason, the last administration, most of the time, the council members spoke, the mayor spoke, And not too often the city attorney, except for when he was fired, he gave a nice long speech. But other than that, I tend to believe that the public has a right to ask of whom a question and get a question and not have their time chewed up and made out like we're objectionable people when we're not. So my issue, among many others, is, of course, the way we feel when we come here. I don't think I'm alone. There's been things that have happened here in the past with police action against citizens. You've had a non-police officer effect an arrest on someone speaking. We never heard anything about that again. A public safety director is not a police officer. And to effect an arrest with a badge and a gun, and then to have the prosecutor say, you can't do that, but it never got back to justify what happened to the person in the public. From what I understand, there may be some lawsuits, but that's not the only one. And I think the public should always be kept aware of just how many lawsuits are swirling around. Notice a claim against the city, you have to give them 6 months notice before you sue. You submit them here, nobody seems like they care, it doesn't matter. I had an incident with the police chief here after a meeting. I didn't like the way he spoke to me, I felt like he threatened me. I filed a notice of claim. No one seems to care. Who cares, right? Let the taxpayer pay the settlements or the lawsuits. And, you know, time and time again, this administration, this city attorney are 1,000% behind a troubled police force, a troubled fire department, problem clubs at the church. You only have to read the news. Problems we have with priests, Boy Scout leaders. Today, cops arrested for pedophilia, child pornography. Look at the 4 latest cases in Long Branch. Pascucci killed a woman here. He's still driving around.
No, he's not.
He's not driving around? Who said no?
I don't think so.
He's driving Joyce's landscaping truck. You don't think so? How did he keep his license? He pled guilty to DWI and strict vehicular homicide. And they gave him a gift of 364 days in the county jail. After the trial, he came back to work here. They put him in the traffic division. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. And he's still... Who said that?
I think you're wrong.
He didn't work in the traffic division after?
After the trial, no,
No, after he killed the woman.
you said after the trial.
Well, after he killed the woman.
You said after the trial.
Okay, but now I'm saying after he killed the woman.
You worked here until his trial started, yes.
That's right. That's right. And he pled guilty. And he pled guilty, didn't he?
I don't know, you have to talk to him.
Well, wait a minute. You weren't there? Come on, Chief Roebuck. I like it when you talk.
Mr. McNally, I don't feel it's appropriate to talk about city employees.
Why? It's city business.
Because
Why? How do you think the family feels?
I think
Mowed down by a drunk police officer who's also a prosecutor and killed. How about those victims?
I'm not going to argue with you.
Why?
I'm just saying what I just said.
Oh, you don't feel empathy for that woman who was killed?
I don't think
Right next to Holy Smokes, by the way, where they go all night long and drink and smoke and gamble. In my church, what does this council do about it? Nothing. Let them go to the mayor's church, the Holy Trinity. That's where they started out 8 years ago. You got to see what they're doing in there. It's a disgrace.
Mr. McNolly, I don't believe that we are allowed, and I certainly can...
To do what?
If you let me finish, sir, I will definitely answer.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I was just about to say, I don't believe that we are allowed as a board to talk about a city employee without notifying them that we will be discussing.
I'm doing all the talking.
But you asked a question, and then, so what I'm saying.
Well, wait a minute. The case is over, isn't it? He's not a city employee anymore. He's fired.
Hey,
Mr. McNally, your 5 minutes
your time is up. Thank you.
What?
Your 5 minutes is up. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Is there anyone else?
The Requesting 1 minute notification, Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Martin. Tonight, Resolution 7619 is the introduction of the municipal budget. Could you please explain, Mr. Martin, is there an increase or a decrease or a level in the municipal tax levy per 100?
There's a decrease of 1 cent.
A decrease of 1 cent. Mr. Martin, on the prior discussion about the cap, the debt service is excluded from the cap, correct?
Yes.
Okay. It should be noted for the record, the debt service in 2018 was $5,480,737. For 2019, it increased to $7,125,738. It's quite an increase. Mr. Martin, for the past 2 years, I've requested of the council, of which Pallone and Sully were part of, what other municipal governments are using, as opposed to the municipal budget that came out this evening. I'm requesting the user-friendly budget, which other municipalities have. Is it possible over the next 30 days, Mr. Martin, a user-friendly budget can be made available to the public for easy diagnosis?
Certainly, it's required by the state.
Thank you. The night the City Council adopted Ordinance 219, the new 30-year tax abatement for Kushner on Broadway, Ms. Wittes commented in her closing remarks, quote, "Not voting the way you wanted us," and then continued, "To bring the community together, it's not going to happen unless we show respect to each other." Fact is, Team Pallone is the one that showed disrespect to the residents of this city who believed their campaign pledge on tax abatements. Despite their campaign slogan, Long Branch first, Team Pallone put Long Branch last with their vote on that 30-year tax abatement. In order to satisfy the campaign-funded special interests of Team Pallone. In those closing remarks, Team Pallone member Councilwoman Sully insulted the residents by stating she didn't think anybody in the audience understood or heard or listened. The fact of the matter is, City Attorney Raynone's statements were as flawed as could be, as so often is the case, particularly when one remembers his, quote, 20 different ways, end quote, to approach the carousel ordinance. Council fell in line with Raynone's flawed statements on the tax abatements. City Raynone's figures on that matter were disgusting, flawed, and intermingled with other figures, to the point of perjuring the public record in contempt of the public trust. The council, despite Sully's remarks, were truly the unintelligent ones that showed the outright ignorance in following City Attorney Raynone's lead. They campaigned against the wrong of tax abatements, Team Pallone, and when they had the opportunity to be in office and correct that wrong, Team Pallone went ahead and rubber-stamped the wrong of tax abatements. That very same night, Ms. Wittes, you attempted to limit...
1 minute.
You attempted to limit my free speech, which is protected under the First Amendment. Ms. Wittes, as I stand here tonight, you will not bully me. You will not bully anybody else in this room. You threatened to throw me out if I used the word lie or liars. Listen loud and clear, Ms. Wittes. The line is being drawn right now. This is the showdown. On the 30-year municipal tax abatement, voted for Lower Broadway, for the intent of Kushner, Team Pallone lied. Hear it loud and clear, Ms. Wittes. L-I-E-D. Lied. Now go ahead and throw me out.
make my night.
Is there anyone else? No?
My name is Darrell Banks. I am a resident of the Long Branch Housing Authority, specifically Hobart Manor. I have two issues that I'd like to have you address. One is the actual physical address of the Hobart Manor. I have had packages which are unable to be delivered because some information has it as 100 Joe Line Avenue. Others have it as 76 Joe Line. Others tell you it's any of the individual side streets, such as James Street. The police recently told me that they have it as 100 Joe Line Avenue. When I moved in nearly 15 years ago, it was 76 Joe Line. I have alternatively had my address known as 40 Hobart, 40 James, 76 Joe Line, and really I contacted the police and 911 because it's only because it had become an issue a few years ago with the landline phones. They're able to determine the physical address. But if I'm using a cell phone and I call 911 and I try giving them 76 Joe Line, 100, some spots don't even recognize it. If people are doing delivery with GPS, it doesn't even show up. Hobart Manor shows up as a section of 7 Presidents, a portion of the highway that's across Ocean Boulevard. The second issue is one regarding the Board of Health. We've had some issues with smoke in our apartment. It has become a smoke-free facility, and we've contacted the Monmouth County Board of Health. They said that Long Branch's Board of Health is responsible for it. We've had people come out, and I'm trying to get someone independent because the people who have come in there, quite frankly, have been, not really, they seem to be looking out more for the housing authority than myself and my wife. We are having health issues, and I'd like someone to come in and do something specific.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll look into it. Thank you.
I'm sorry, is it Mr. Banks?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Banks, if you don't mind, if you could wait till the end of the meeting, and could you give your contact information to Mr. Jackson, the business administrator, and I will get back to you personally, and just be sure of all the information that you discussed here, and I'll reach out and try to get an answer to both your questions for you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else? Okay, I need a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we can take the listed resolutions to the consent agenda. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. I need a motion to approve the annual citywide yard sale weekend, May 18th and 19th, no rain dates.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. I need a motion to approve the listed application Approval of honorary membership for Guido Monteleone in the Yale Brown Fire Company.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. At this time, Councilman Dangler, would you like to make any comments this evening?
Yes, just one. Well, two. First, I hope everyone had a nice Easter weekend and holiday in whichever way you celebrate. And second, in regards to we don't care about the issues that we may hear about with the fire and the police, I can tell you that before I was a councilman, I would call the chief, and before that, the safety director, and he would answer. Would not maybe always agree, but he would definitely get back to me and answer and tell me whatever he could by law. And that continues. And when I have questions, again, as a councilman, I still ask. So we ask. If I ask, we ask, because I certainly let the rest of my team members know what I'm concerned with, because that is I'm the liaison between the council and the police department. So now, holy smokes, I don't know enough about, but certainly when there's issues, we do ask, because it represents the city of Long Branch, and that's who we are, and we're citizens. Even though we're council, we're all citizens, and we have concerns, and we certainly want to follow up to make sure we're doing everything right. I just wanted to be clear on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Councilwoman Vogt?
Just a few things. So first of all, thank you for all for coming out tonight. I just want to do a shout out to all of our employees of the month. I've had more of an opportunity to work directly with David Perez, and they are all so outstanding. So kudos to all of our outstanding employees. The other comment that I just want to make, and it's picking up on some of what Councilman Dangler said in terms of the do we care? And one of the things that we have started to do, and I hope we're going to keep it up, is to do updates at the workshops in terms of all the work that is being done by our boards. And each one of us serves as a liaison to the boards, and also each one of us has special projects that we work on. So let me encourage you to watch the taped workshops so that you really get a full picture of everything that's going on. You hear some things here, certainly at the council meeting, but those workshops, I mean, the updates go on for quite a while with quite a bit of energy in terms of the many, many projects that are going on. So make sure you can catch that also. And have a good evening.
Thank you. Councilwoman Selly?
The only thing I would like to say is before our next council meeting, we have Mother's Day. So for all the mothers and grandmothers and aunts and anybody else, happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Plone?
Thank you, Council President. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, first off, good evening to everyone. And as was mentioned tonight, we introduced the budget. And we're going to be sharing more information and presentation at a future meeting. But I just wanted to say that this is my first budget as mayor, and I'm happy to report that the tax rate has been reduced by a penny, as Mr. Martin pointed out. I might add that the tax rate has not been reduced in Long Branch in several years. So while our city will have a lower tax rate this year, we will still maintain and add to what I think are our excellent municipal services without increasing taxes. So these services include keeping our neighborhoods safe, increasing our initiative for cleaner streets. We've added some more recreation programs and increasing code enforcement. Also, on the beachfront, we'll continue to maintain our clean beaches while also offering one of the lowest seasonal beach badge prices in the state. The council and administration will continue to better our communication to residents, and we'll be launching our new website this year. And in the coming year, we plan on making even more improvements to our city. $1.5 million will be allocated for road improvements. Over $500,000 will go to fixing drainage issues, and another $500,000 will go to park improvements. I'd also like to note that major renovations to our public library are just about done, and they were all done in-house with our Public Works Department. It's services like this that make our city so great and help contribute to a lower tax rate. And finally, I'm also happy to announce that for the first time, residents will have a free beachfront parking this summer at Chandler and Maps parking lot and the lots adjacent to it. More information about this free parking for residents will be available in the next couple of weeks. So I'd like to just end by saying I want to thank all the department heads for their cooperation and support during the budget process, and I especially want to thank every member of council for all of their input and the joint effort that they have made to work on this budget. Again, thank you to all of you and for all that you do every day for the city of Long Branch. We're very proud to keep costs down while offering our high level of services. And so thank you to every one of you also for attending. I wanted to also just say something about David Perez. I've known David being on the library board since he was an intern at the library, and everything that Council President Witt has said about him is really true. He's always out in the community, always willing to do new things. The barbershop initiative, now a statewide program, was brought forth by him and some others at the library, always going beyond and above to help others. So he is really very deserving of being selected as the Employee of the Month, and I just want to thank him and salute him for all his efforts. And thank you to all of you for being there tonight, and I hope you had a great holiday and holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening and also wish everyone a happy Mother's Day, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you. I need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.